I'm talking with Enver and Dichen from Dollhouse. How are you guys doing this morning?
Great, thank you.
Great. So, what's the best and worst use for a doll?
The best and worst use for them? Well, I guess the best one would be something charitable or, you know, saving the world type thing. And the worst would be something sort of sinister, maybe sexual.
You know, as you asked that question, I think that's exactly kind of where they're coming from in the writer's room. They kind of did that in the first season. I mean, we see Eliza doing the best, and then I think Adele and Roger might have been, no, for sure, your storyline was the kind of sexual exploitation of a person who doesn't know or is not aware that they're being exploited, would seem to me the worst you can get, and that's what they did last season.
Was that a challenging role to play?
I thought it would have been harder than it actually ended up being, because we didn't actually shoot a lot of me. There was a lot of talking about it, you know, like there was a lot of Olivia Williams' character, Adele, and, you know, Harry Lennox's character, Boyd, and Topher, like, which is played by Fran, lots of talking. I didn't actually have to do much, but I hope I did it justice. It's a terrible thing to happen to anyone. And sort of even worse because the dolls are like children, you know, and they're so innocent and they don't understand. You know, I mean, I think all those characters are, you know, when you're inhabiting the world of a person who's had something like that happen to them, it's not as, you know, easy as.
Since you do play kind of blank slate characters who we haven't seen a bunch of personality from, is that harder to draw inspiration for, or is it easier?
To play the dolls? I think the doll is like one of the hardest things to do, because you still want to make it interesting, but you can't put too much there, and you have to have this sort of thing, and you can't, what do you think?
Yeah, I think everybody I've talked to has a different opinion. I mean, some people absolutely love the dolls, you know, and some people are just like, you know, they just seem like robots, you know. I think, yeah, we try as hard as we can, you know, given the line, which is usually like, I love broccoli, or, you know what I mean? Something, to show that there's a person behind it.
Yeah, give it some humanity.
Yeah, it seems like Sierra and Victor have a little bit of chemistry despite the blank slate. Do you think we'll see more of that in their relationship this season?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah,
I think people have really responded to that relationship because it's one of the only really innocent things on the show, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
it's kind of.
They're just drawn to each other.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to for this season?
Oh man, this season is. They're pulling out all the stops. I mean, we've got, well, Eliza's character, Echo, is like now kind of able to, at times, we're starting to be able to access all her different personalities. So that character to me is just really kind of amped up so much because she's starting to be able to take from all these personalities that supposedly were wiped, you know? And we've got all these guest stars. We've got Keith Carradine and Summer Glau and, you know, Alexis Denisov and Jamie Bamber. I mean, it's just like, we've got so many like awesome people coming out. I got to do a scene with Michael Hogan, which was so fun because I'm a big, huge Battlestar.
Yeah.
Huge Battlestar fan. And I'm sitting there in the scene with him. I'm kind of like looking at him. Like, at what point do you tell somebody like I'm a stinking huge fan, like I'm a sweaty fan of yours, you know?
We're so lucky, you know. We get to work with these people. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
And with each other, of course.
Is there a dream guest star that you'd have?
Michael Hogan was like, no, I'm serious. It was funny because I did one of those weeks where I think I did 45 hours of Battlestar. Like I literally had done so much Battlestar that I couldn't separate. I was just like kind of mad. I was like, the Pegasus showed up and messed up everything. And I'm literally sitting there really angry, and then I go to work and he's there, and I can't separate the storyline because my eyes are wired, and I'm like just been up all night watching Battlestar, and then I'm doing a scene with Michael Hogan. I'm just Yeah.
I'm
it's-
like that too. If I start watching something and I love it, I won't stop.
Oh yeah.
It's terrible.
If you could have a doll for a day, what would you use it for?
If I could have a doll, wow, no one's actually ever asked me that question. Well
See?
done. I don't know. If I could have a doll, I would probably ask it to clean my room.
Yeah.
I can't think of any. I mean, you know, it's a weird thing because they're kind of like slaves. Yeah, something just basic that wasn't too controversial.
Right.
What would you do?
Oh, something completely charitable.
Oh, yeah?
No, I mean,
Oh, now you make me look like
no,
like
you've
a
hit on
mean,
it.
bad
The
person.
idea of the show is like, you know, that these are the this is the place, the Dollhouse is the place you come to with that deepest, darkest fantasy. You know what I mean? The deepest one that you just don't even tell your bestie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so just share it with the entertainment reporter to
Oh,
really
sure.
get a
We should
problem.
make an ad for the Dollhouse.
No, but it's, I mean, that's
If you have
so
a fantasy that you can't even tell your BFF, well then
There's a doll for
Come
you.
here.
come
We got the
and
doll
see
for
us.
you. No, but that's it. That's why it can be so dark, and that's why it's such a peephole into human nature, is because you really get a view into what it is that these people really would, not what you'd say during an interview, but what you would really, really, really do in your deepest, darkest fantasy. You know?
Yeah, there's a moral quandary to the
It's
dolls.
kind of scary because there are places in the world where this actually happens. Well, not with the technology, but you
Right.
know, like, and I hope I'm saying her name right, but Samalai Mam, I think, is this lady who works in Cambodia who's constantly saving girls from sex slavery. You know, girls who are like, you know, I mean, 10 years old, who, you know, end up in these houses for years and years. I mean, she herself was in that position and escaped and then got kidnapped back into these, you know, houses where, you know, men go to get what they want. And they're there against their will and made to do horrific things. And so it's like, it's not like the Dollhouse or the fancy tech and the guys, but I mean, well, and also the Dollhouse, it's all mostly voluntary except for maybe Sierra and a few people, but these are children, and it's not a joke.
It's
like
one of the
happens.
tricky things.
They
yeah.
can't get wiped.
No.
Like these people have to live with it if they ever escape, you know.
Well, it's one of the tricky things that Joss does, and it's so really brilliant, is you forget you're going on these missions, and you're having all this fun, and everybody's a ninja or whatever, and like underneath all of this is like really, this show is about something really dark, you know, about dark human desire, and if you step back and look at what's going on, it's manipulation, you know, so and exploitation. So yeah, that's definitely going on. There's elements of that, you know.
Yeah, for a primetime show, there's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You can't walk away to make a cup of tea. You kind of gotta like sit there and almost like rewind and watch it again.
Yeah. Is it hard for you guys to follow it all?
The plots?
Yeah, just the ever-changing, switching.
No, not for me, because this is just like, this is the world that I'm in, and I love it, and I'm like fully invested, and like, I'm with it, you know. But you know, I can see it would be hard if you jumped in completely fresh. You know, it might be hard.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thanks
you
so
so
much.
much.